Salutations, shapeshifters. Automatic for Automatic Games, I appreciate you joining me for Season 1, Episode 5 of my XCOM 2 series. Previously, we caught up with the spokesman, saw Charlie Squad go into action for the first time, initiated an Advent officer autopsy, and discovered the location of what could turn out to be the crash site of our old Sky Ranger. We're going to kick off this episode pretty much where we left off, by plotting course back to the general area of that crash site and continuing our scan, hoping that it yields positive results. Now we're getting word of a distress beacon fired up by a scientist. This is out east by Nova Scotia, or actually north of Nova Scotia, up there in northeast Canada. But we're going to put that off and concentrate on this crash site first.
I take it this was easier than your last procedure, Doctor.
Central, Commander. Yes, I find the process to be far less disconcerting when the subject has already expired. The results, however, it's best you see for yourself. My autopsy of the Advent captain has confirmed the existence of an implant, similar in design to the unit I extracted from the commander. But there are differences.
What kind of differences?
The data you see is being pulled directly from this Advent captain's implant. The sequence here is essentially you, Commander. Or at least the tactical information they were processing through your mind. As you can see, the data is nearly identical.
They were using you against us.
Yes, however, the Advent data shows signs of decay. Removing the commander from their network has likely caused significant damage.
Network?
Yes, what we're seeing here is a psionic network. These implants are capable of receiving and transmitting information, a great deal of information, somehow encoded in a stream of psionic energy. My working theory? Advent uses this network to augment the tactical readiness of its troops, as well as disseminate orders from its central command. Observe.
Oh, don't do that.
Even in the subject's diminished condition, the implant continues to have an effect. A truly astonishing achievement.
Moral weakness.
Potentially. But I need direct access to their network to know for sure.
I'm guessing that won't be easy.
We'd need an active link. And that would mean hacking a live Advent officer.
Like I said, not easy. Still, it's the best lead we've got. Your call, Commander.
So we want to hack into their psionic network, I guess.
Objective added.
I've updated our latest operational objectives, Commander.
The Advent captain seems to provide a means of stabilizing the link between the local subordinates and the Advent network tower itself.
Okay.
Commander,
Well,
if we're going to try to build this skulljack that Tigan came up with, we're going to need a specialized facility to test it out.
I've got my own construction priorities. But first, in terms of research, we're going to focus on resistance communications.
I foresee a number of valuable applications stemming from this technology. I'll have a report assembled as soon as the research is complete.
Super duper, Dr. Ty. I can call you that, right?
From my own experience, Advent generally deploys heavy security rather than subterfuge when it comes to protecting their primary facilities. At least the ones I had access to personally. If they have gone to the trouble of hiding this black site, I suspect our findings there will lead us to even greater questions.
And I'll find the answers. You just watch, Dr. Ty. Subscribe and watch. That's all I ask. Okay, so Otto Williams has completed his ranger training. And he's a strapping young lad, quite the handsome fellow if I do say so myself. Sorry, little self-indulgence. It doesn't hurt, does it? Alright. Alright, so our engineer has cleared out the debris from one of these chambers, but we really don't have the supplies to initiate construction of a new facility. I've been spending supplies hand over fist, but we are going to redirect that engineer to the chamber just below the last one and have her start clearing out that one. It's thankless work, but we want to work our way down to one of those exposed power coils or power cells, because before you know it, we are going to have power supply problems, and we want to get there quick to help head those off. I mentioned spending supplies hand over fist, and one of our expenditures this very episode was for a new recruit for Alpha Squad. See, Alpha is currently on deck. Just in case, you know, some kind of a operation pops up. And they didn't quite have enough squad members. And I didn't show the video of actually hiring this recruit, but I do want to take a look at her file.
Sandra Barron, codename Snuggs, born Buffalo, New York, 4 December 2013. Escaping Advent custody after being detained for petty crimes, Sandra began a string of one-woman sabotage operations until she was recruited by a New York resistance cell. She is witty, sly, and seductive. Snuggs generally gets her way.
And there weren't enough letters to put in Snuggs the Bear, and I know it says Snuggy Bear, but her codename is going to be Snuggs. It just won't let me edit that until she gets higher rank. So I guess I'm going to have to wait until I can edit her codename.
You and I both know we only had one other Sky Ranger, Commander. It's worse for wear, but this heap used to be Big Sky's pride and joy, and someone's been putting her to work. It may be possible to triangulate exactly where they took off from, but it'll take some time.
Cool.
Commander, these weapons are unlike any design I have previously encountered before. I could attempt further analysis, but the likelihood of us reverse engineering them appears low regardless.
Remember what Tigan said. These new weapons are one of a kind. If we leave them on the battlefield, they'll be lost to us forever.
A single-shot rifle-style weapon called the Bowcaster. A very accurate sidearm called Shadowkeeper. Let's see. The Hunter's Axe, which it's a pair of them, and they replace a soldier's sword. And finally, the Frost Bomb, which of course would freeze an enemy in place, albeit temporarily. All of these sound like pretty interesting weapons, and I can't wait to test them in the field, which we will do at our soonest convenience. We're going to set course out east and respond to this distress beacon.
New course.
Hopefully earn ourselves a new scientist in the process. Guess we'll soon see.
I do not think I could have predicted this outcome, though it is intriguing.
Could you really not have predicted the results of this research? Resistance communications? I think it's fairly obvious. Anyways, we could build a resistance comm facility, and we'll probably do that. Our next research will be a resistance radio, and I wonder if Ty
I'd assumed you'd make that research a priority, Commander. I'll notify you as
can, I wonder if he can predict the results of that.
Commander, we can now work to establish contact with local resistance groups operating out of regions around the globe. Once we've collected sufficient intel to make contact, we'll need to scan the target region for the operative signal.
So by New Mexico there, they mean like the country, not the state of New Mexico. Alright, continuing the scan.
Nothing on the local comms. Advent's been quiet lately. I'm guessing we have you to thank for that.
Our pleasure, Den Mother. Enjoy it while it lasts.
We plan to. Our water purification
Massive signal coming from the Advent Network Tower. It's global. Sir, I think you'll want to see this.
Fellow citizens, for 20 years, the Advent Coalition has worked tirelessly to repair the ravages and injustices of the old world. Under our stewardship, our cities prosper, our people flourish, and our world heals. And yet, among us, there are still those who would refuse to acknowledge the truth, who are determined to see all that we have achieved.
Multiple radar contacts on approach to Haven Alpha 7.
That must end.
Even as I speak to you today,
You've got incoming on approach.
Your signal's breaking up. Outlying territories to end this scourge once and for all.
They're right on top of you.
Losing you, Avenger.
Raise them again.
We will ensure your continued safety and well-being throughout this crisis.
Get your people out of there!
With your cooperation, we will overcome these radical elements and usher in another 20 years of peace and prosperity.
They don't stand a chance. Commander, we should get a squad ready to deploy.
Well, hello. As I mentioned, we have Alpha Squad on deck, ready to move. So we will assemble them directly. And set course for the West Coast, so we can deploy near this Resistance outpost and repel the Advent threat. And so here we're looking at Alpha Squad, now 5-man strong, commanded by Javier Valdez, codenamed Old School, who's got a stock attached to his rifle for this mission. He'll be joined by Nelson Boyd, codenamed Noisi Boy, who's taking the experimental frost bomb. Manny Fawcett, codenamed Manny Faces, he has the perception mod, giving him a +4 to aim. And the new recruit, Sandra, codenamed Snuggs, she's taking in the basic kit. And finally, there's Karl Hamm, codenamed Lead, and he's taking the bolt caster to put it to the test in the field. As you can see, the entire squad is dressed for winter climate. And yeah, that'll about do it. Alpha Squad, you may board when ready. And I will do that. That is to say, dress the squads according to the climate in which they will be operating.
Sky Ranger deployed.
We're in the pipe, 5x5.
Copy that, Firebrand. You are cleared to descend.
Now that we've got the aliens' attention, they're taking it out on one of the Resistance outposts in the area. We're heading in to secure the camp and protect as many civilians as we can. Eliminate all hostile forces attacking the site. Make them regret coming after the Resistance.
And I apologize about the choppy footage here. I believe it's just a consequence of the game loading this particular map. As you can see, it says we'll be in the western United States, but according to the map, we are actually going to be in northwest Canada. The name of this Resistance base is Harmony Falls. We're to get there and basically liberate as many civilians as possible from the Advent threat. Alpha Squad is boots on the ground. In a previous video, I mentioned that Old School, he's a bit of a cautious commander. He's going to deploy his squad, having Lead take point, but he wants his men and women to take full advantage of available cover.
The Resistance has done everything it can to convince people to join the cause, but it's an uphill battle when you've got Advent whispering propaganda in your ear 24 hours a day.
While he doesn't mind splitting his troops up, he doesn't want to overextend his squad, so he's not really having them move at the double quick. And we don't have the luxury of flying in undetected, so Advent does know that we have assets on the ground. And now we're showing 2 tangos on the grid. 1 sectoid, 1 Advent trooper. Lead is going to put this bolt caster to the test. And he inflicts good damage. While the sectoid is still alive, it is nonetheless stunned. So that works to our advantage. We're going to have Snuggs come down here. In fact, we'll have her get this civilian out of the crossfire. After all, protecting civilians is our priority on this operation. Old School is going to advance, hopefully going for the flank here, and he'll put fire on that sectoid. Maybe take him out of the scenario. And despite the sectoid being motionless, it's a miss. Manny's gonna fire at that trooper, and he does not miss. The trooper is down, and that leaves one sectoid on the grid. One stunned sectoid. Damn, we've got casualties being inflicted already on the civilian population. We're gonna go ahead and move Manny faces behind better cover. Then we'll have him reload.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, Snuggs is gonna go for that sectoid. If she exacts a kill here, that'll be her first kill, and it is.
Taken care of.
So that clears the grid, although we know that there are plenty more Advent personnel on the ground. Lead is going to sidestep, tell this civilian to get the hell out of here, and he's going to go ahead and reload the bolt caster.
It's killing time.
We'll also have Noisi Boy advance to this next civilian, having her clear the scene.
On Overwatch.
Old School will advance, go into Overwatch.
Overwatch. No, wait.
And yet additional civilian casualties. Over on our left flank, we've got that structure. We're going to direct Lead and Noisi toward it. Lead is going to stay on the periphery. Noisi is going to take a peek inside, look for civilians.
Overwatch.
We'll anchor Manny at the rear, and Snuggs will continue to advance along the right flank, along with Old School.
I've got eyes on an Advent position.
Snuggs has acquired 2 targets. Another sectoid trooper pairing, and she's going to go for this trooper. And it's a miss.
Come on!
Despite that, Old School is in a decent position to go for a flank. And this gives him a much better line of sight. It pays off.
Got him.
Got another civilian out in the open, and I'm afraid her number may be up. Or not.
We've heard rumors about some kind of shapeshifters. I'm guessing this is it.
It is a remarkable species. If only we had some means of containment.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah, that civilian, she just got a lot uglier. Lead's gonna take a shot. No joy. The shapeshifter is closing in on Noisi Boy. Noisi Boy's gonna take advantage of that Overwatch. Inflicts a decent amount of damage, but not quite enough. But apparently the shapeshifter has exhausted its moves, which is altogether fortunate.
Getting a little toasty here!
Noisi Boy ducked inside and finishes off the shapeshifter. Now we did lose a couple seconds of footage there, and that will happen from time to time. I apologize. Be assured, it wasn't save scumming. It's just that I can only record 5 minutes at a time, and I've got to string that footage together, and occasionally I just go a few seconds too long. But I'll try to keep that to a minimum as we progress. So we're bringing Manny forward. Snuggs is going to move over here to the left. Ultimately, perhaps she shouldn't have. Maybe she should have stayed with Old School. He's gonna keep on the right. Keep moving forward to where that fire was downrange. Damn. Went for the sectoid, but it's no good.
Running dry.
Sectoid just keeps retrograding. We do know that there's additional Advent forces back there. I mean, they're continuing to butcher civilians.
Civilians left and right, Commander. We need to get these people out of here.
Duly noted, Central. We are working on it. Old School will move up so he can reestablish a line of sight.
Got some Advent here.
Oh, and did he ever? So we've got 1 officer, 1 sectoid, and 3 troopers. That's 5 on the grid. Boy, Old School's got his options, doesn't he? I suppose he's gonna go for the closest target, that trooper behind the tree. No joy.
Negative ammo, I'm spent.
And his ammo's dry. Noisy Boy's gonna reposition near this window and go into Overwatch.
Got it covered.
Manny is gonna go for the sectoid. Oh damn, that's great.
Target neutralized.
Yeah, sectoid is out of the equation. Meanwhile, Snuggs is going to cross back over to the right. Basically trying to close the gap between her and squad leader. She'll go ahead and open up on the officer. Does a small amount of damage.
My ammo's running low.
Lead will inch forward. Here we go.
Moving to designated coordinates. Moving to Overwatch.
Go into Overwatch. Okay, the officer has marked the squad leader. Damn. Squad leader's been hit. Troopers going into flank. Old School. This is not good. That is one lucky squad leader, folks. With the amount we have been spending in supplies on hiring, it is no time to lose any combat personnel, let alone a squad leader, which we damn near just did. Unfortunately, Lead just missed his mark when it came to taking out that officer. Noisy Boy is going to advance and get this civilian the hell out of here.
I gotcha, go!
And our biggest threat right now is that trooper that has Old School flanked. And so Manny is going to see what he can do about that. And that is why he's the squad sniper.
Good riddance. Well,
hell yes. That leaves 1 on the grid, just the officer. And so Snuggs is going to advance and take it to him. In fact, she'll deploy a grenade to take all chance out of the equation. See if we got this lined up.
Take this!
Here goes. Excellent. And was that the last man?
Menace 1-5, status confirmed. We're not picking up any additional contacts.
Indeed it was.
The AO is clear. Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
Not bad at all. So we did take one casualty. Old School was wounded. But you know, Advent fared far worse. There were civilian deaths in the field. But if you ask me, Alpha did a professional job in minimizing those casualties. This is Alpha's second foray into the field. And frankly, they did impressive work. And you know, I had a difficult time tracking earned promotions in the field for this mission. Nonetheless, they'll be tallied momentarily. I imagine we do have a few to hand out.
Well done, Commander. It's always good for morale when we ace a mission like that.
And we've got 3, which is good. The first goes to our newest recruit, Snuggs, who will specialize as a grenadier, and that gives Alpha Squad 2 grenadiers, making them a heavy-hitting squad indeed. She performed quite well for her first outing. Now another promotion goes to squad leader, Valdez, who unfortunately is gravely wounded and will be laid up for a couple weeks. He gets to choose between Phantom, which employs more stealth, or Blade Master, giving him more damage with a blade. He's going to choose Phantom. He likes to rely on stealth. So, let's see, the next promotion goes to Manny, and he gets to choose between Long Watch, which gives him Overwatch on squad side, or Return Fire, which is more of a pistolier perk. He's going to go for Long Watch. He's already an excellent sniper, and this is just going to make him better. So yeah, well done, Alpha. Well done indeed. In terms of material gains, we got ourselves a stock, some corpses, an Advent Trooper, a Sectoid, a Faceless for the first time, and a Advent Officer. And that Faceless corpse, that's something Dr. Ty's going to want to dig into. It opens up a new autopsy option for us.
Another impressive effort, Commander. My expectations were high, and yet you have exceeded them.
Yep. Expectations are going to be exceeded, Mr. Spokesman. You can count on it. So, yeah, Old School has been shaken. His will is reduced, but he'll bounce back. And so yeah, Alpha did quite well. And you know, that is why I spent so much supplies on squads and personnels. It's so we could have 3 of them. So by the time we rotate back to Alpha, Valdez will be alright. He'll be out of the hospital. And you may have noticed that I move quite rapidly in the field, and you may think like, well gosh, are you not thinking about your decisions? Are you just moving too fast? Well, I want to keep the thing flowing for you, because ultimately these episodes are going to run a little long. They're going to be like half an hour long, 45 minutes long for some of the longer ones. And so I'm just doing everything I can to keep the thing flowing for you. And I just hope it's enough. And again, I'm not really getting into save scum. I'm not reloading the game. I haven't so far. I reserve the right to, though, in the future. But as mentioned, I can only record for like 5 minutes, so then I pause. And while I'm paused, you better believe I'm sitting there thinking about my next move. And that contributes to why I can move so quickly and get away with it, seemingly, anyways. Anyways, this is Automatic for Automatic Games. I do appreciate you watching, as always. If you like this, and if you are subscribed, I will talk to you soon, friends.